Welcome to our countdown of the 10 most dangerous pandemics that have ever happened. From the Black Death to the COVID-19 pandemic, we will journey through time to understand these global health crises. Throughout history, pandemics have shaped the world in profound ways. They have influenced the course of civilizations, altered population dynamics, and left an indelible mark on human history. The Black Death, a devastating pandemic that swept across Europe, Asia, and Africa in the 14th century, remains one of the deadliest disease outbreaks in human history. It was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, which spread through fleas that lived on rodents. The Black Death, with its gruesome symptoms of buboes, fever, and rapid death, decimated populations, leaving a trail of unimaginable devastation in its wake. An estimated 75 to 200 million people perished, leaving societies in disarray and economies in ruins. The Black Death profoundly impacted medieval society, leading to widespread fear and panic. It also led to the persecution of marginalized groups wrongly blamed for the outbreak. The pandemic's impact on art and literature is undeniable, with themes of death and decay dominating creative expressions of the time. While the Black Death eventually subsided, its legacy continued to shape the world for centuries to come. In the wake of World War I, a new and invisible enemy emerged: the Spanish flu. This pandemic infected 500 million people, one-third of the world's population. The H1N1 virus spread rapidly due to wartime conditions. It was particularly deadly for healthy young adults. Hospitals overflowed and mass graves became necessary. The virus left an estimated 40 to 50 million dead. It spurred advances in virology and public health. The HIV/AIDS pandemic, which emerged in the early 1980s, has cast a long shadow over the world, claiming the lives of millions and fundamentally altering our understanding of infectious diseases. HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, attacks the body's immune system, leaving individuals vulnerable to opportunistic infections and cancers. The virus, which spreads through bodily fluids, initially sparked fear and discrimination, with misinformation and stigma surrounding the disease. However, over time, the global response to HIV/AIDS evolved, driven by scientific breakthroughs in antiretroviral therapy and tireless advocacy by activists and healthcare professionals. While there is still no cure for AIDS, antiretroviral drugs have transformed HIV from a death sentence into a manageable chronic condition for many. The HIV/AIDS pandemic has had a profound impact on global health, underscoring the importance of sexual health education, access to testing and treatment, and the fight against stigma and discrimination. Chapter 4. The Plague of Justinian. In the 6th century CE, the Byzantine Empire faced a devastating pandemic. The Plague of Justinian swept across the Mediterranean world. Named after Emperor Justinian I, it had a profound impact. The plague weakened the empire's military and economy. Its effects shaped the Mediterranean world for centuries. Chapter 5. The Third Cholera Pandemic. The Third Cholera Pandemic, which emerged in India in the 19th century, marked a terrifying chapter in the history of this deadly disease. Cholera, a waterborne bacterial infection, spreads through contaminated water and food, causing severe diarrhea and dehydration, often leading to death if left untreated. The pandemic, which began in 1852, rapidly spread from its epicenter in India, reaching parts of Asia, Europe, North America, and Africa. The disease's rapid spread was facilitated by global trade routes and the lack of proper sanitation and hygiene practices in many parts of the world. The Third Cholera Pandemic exposed the inadequacies of public health systems and the dire need for improved sanitation. It led to significant advances in epidemiology and public health, with scientists like John Snow making groundbreaking discoveries about cholera's transmission through contaminated water. His work, which linked a cholera outbreak in London to a specific water pump, revolutionized our understanding of disease transmission and paved the way for public health interventions that continue to save lives today. Chapter 6. The Asian Flu. In the spring of 1957, a new influenza virus emerged in East Asia, quickly spreading across the globe and ushering in the pandemic known as the Asian flu. This pandemic, caused by the H2N2 influenza virus, is believed to have originated in China before making its way to Hong Kong and then to the rest of the world. The Asian flu, though less deadly than the Spanish flu 3 decades earlier, still had a significant impact on global health, infecting millions and causing widespread illness. Symptoms of the Asian flu included fever, cough, sore throat, muscle aches, and weakness. While most people recovered from the virus without complications, some developed more severe illnesses such as pneumonia, which proved fatal, particularly for the elderly and those with underlying health conditions. The pandemic highlighted the importance of global surveillance systems for infectious diseases and the need for effective vaccines and antiviral treatments. Chapter 7. The Hong Kong Flu. Just over a decade after the Asian flu, the world faced another influenza pandemic, this time originating in Hong Kong in 1968. The Hong Kong flu, caused by the H3N2 influenza virus, spread rapidly, reaching most parts of the world within a year. While not as deadly as the 1918 pandemic, the Hong Kong flu still resulted in a significant number of deaths, particularly among the elderly and those with underlying health conditions. The pandemic highlighted the constantly evolving nature of influenza viruses and the need for ongoing surveillance and vaccine development efforts. The experience of the Hong Kong flu, though tragic in terms of lives lost, contributed to our understanding of influenza viruses and informed pandemic preparedness strategies for future outbreaks. Chapter 8. The Russian flu. In the late 19th century, a pandemic wave of influenza, often referred to as the Russian flu, swept across the globe. The pandemic, which began in 1889, is believed to have originated in Central Asia before spreading rapidly through Russia and then to Europe and the rest of the world. The Russian flu, though not as well documented as some other pandemics in history, had a significant impact on global health, causing widespread illness and death. The pandemic highlighted the interconnectedness of the world and the speed at which infectious diseases could spread, even in the late 19th century. While the specific influenza virus responsible for the Russian flu remains unknown, it is believed to have been an H2N8 subtype, distinct from the viruses that caused the later pandemics of 1918, 1957, and 1968. Chapter 9. The 2009 swine flu. In the spring of 2009, a new influenza virus emerged, causing concern and prompting a swift global response. The 2009 swine flu, caused by the H1N1 influenza virus, was first detected in Mexico before spreading rapidly to other countries, leading the World Health Organization to declare a pandemic in June 2009. The pandemic, which caused the first global influenza pandemic in over 40 years, highlighted the speed at which infectious diseases can spread in our interconnected world. The 2009 H1N1 virus was unusual in that it contained genetic material from swine, avian, and human influenza viruses, making it a novel virus to which humans had little pre-existing immunity. Fortunately, the 2009 swine flu pandemic turned out to be less severe than initially feared, with lower mortality rates than previous pandemics. However, it served as a reminder of the constant threat posed by influenza viruses and the importance of global pandemic preparedness. Chapter 10. The COVID-19 Pandemic. In late 2019, a novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, emerged in Wuhan, China, rapidly spreading across the globe and ushering in the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic, unprecedented in recent history, has had a profound impact on the world, affecting nearly every aspect of human life. The virus, which causes a respiratory illness with a wide range of symptoms, from mild to severe, has claimed millions of lives and placed immense strain on healthcare systems worldwide. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to lockdowns, travel restrictions, and social distancing measures on an unprecedented scale, disrupting economies, education systems, and social interactions. The pandemic has also exposed and exacerbated existing inequalities, disproportionately impacting vulnerable populations. Despite the challenges, the COVID-19 pandemic has also spurred remarkable scientific collaboration and innovation, leading to the rapid development of vaccines and treatments. Outro: the future of pandemics. Thank you for watching our countdown of the 10 most dangerous pandemics in history. From the Black Death to the COVID-19 pandemic, these global health crises have shaped our world in profound ways, reminding us of the fragility of human life and the importance of public health. As we move forward, it is crucial to learn from the past, strengthen our public health infrastructure, and remain vigilant in the face of emerging infectious diseases. Stay informed and stay safe.